Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be working on the Durango and getting it reprimed. So what I'm going to do first is I got an infrared heat lamp. I'm going to cure the driver's side, and what the heat lamp does is it shrinks that primer. It makes it so I don't have to wait so long in between coats. Once that's done, I can block it out at 180, then I can reprime it, and I will heat lamp most of it, but I think I'll wait a day before I sand it. So let's put this heat I have the heat lamp finally put back together. I probably should have bought the store display model because it was kind of a pain to put together, but she's all together, heating up the panel. And what's really good about this is, you guys can't feel this, but this is nice and hot. So I can move this up and down. I zip tied the cord up here. Usually people let them hang, and I wish there was like a kind of a slip coupler that would hold the cord kind of against that, so it's not just kind of hanging out there. It really doesn't matter, but I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, this thing just pretty much adjusts. It's infrared, so it just really heats up whatever it's in front of, instead of it being, you know, it's radiant heat. So it just pretty much gets this nice and warm. And what that does is it shrinks that primer down, because there's all those sanding scratches that the primer has to shrink in. So like I've said before, if you don't do this, it will come back after you paint the car, and it is not fun when you see these. I added filler to this outer edge on both sides of the roof because it had this weird little wave to it. So now it is ready to go, and I hit it with 80 grit with this block first, but this block is a little bit too wide. So I went back over it with 180 on this piece of wood. It's just a stick that I had laying around. But you can make a block out of anything that is flat, or you could use PVC pipe, which works very well. And you just wrap the sandpaper around it, and it actually contours to round edges and stuff like that. So just a tip right there. But now this is sanded in kind of 180. So I'm gonna high build this area and then hit it with the heat lamp. And then I could sand it back in 180. The rest of the roof is ready to go. I'll probably just kind of go over it to make sure I get any overspray. And then the rest of the Durango is sanded in 180, and she is ready for high build primer after we get this done. So then once this is done, high build primer, the whole Durango, and then she'll be ready for some 320 grit. now I have both upper rails on the Durango sanded back in 180, as well as this gutter and as well as all the little spots. And I did go back over quite a bit of the car. I was feeling around for overspray, knocked down all that overspray. You want to make sure that everything is nice and sanded or scuffed. I also got all of this sanded at 180 or red Scotch-Brite, which if you miss any of this and then you reprime it and then you miss it again, there is adhesion issues. You have the chance, you know, as you guys have seen people that put clear bra over their car and then they remove it and then they remove like a huge section of paint or clear, something like that. Or you've all seen the people that get an air hose and blow a whole section of paint off. So make sure to sand it. I know I've, you know, reiterated this quite a bit, but it is a very crucial step in the painting process. And now we are ready. So I'm gonna blow this off. Then I'm going to wipe her down and I need to remask. I'm probably just gonna use some of the plastic. I got a new box of plastic over there and do the window and the driver door. Get her and make sure it's over the hood and the headlights so we don't get any overspray on any of that stuff. And the wheels as well. I'm gonna refinish the wheels, but yeah, the wheels and the tires and the exhaust and stuff like that. Just you don't want overspray on it. And then hit her with a light coat of high build primer, because now we're just filling in 180 grit sanding scratches and not imperfections like 80 grit or 36 or trying to find something. So we are ready. I now have the Durango ready. Everything is covered that I don't want overspray on. So the exhaust, the wheels, the hood, the headlights, also this area up here in between the cowl and the hood. I have that covered just so no overspray gets in the engine bay. So primer isn't that bad, but clear is a little bit more unforgiving. So clear turns into this fog and it will get everywhere. So I kind of did this to save on material. When I mask it to paint it, I'll do it a lot different. I'll pretty much do this same thing right here where I cut it with the razor blade, but I'll cover this whole thing and then just cut things out. Also, when I paint it, I'm gonna paint this rail green. So I'll probably take this hood off so I can get in there. That will just be scuffed and it'll just be painted the same color as the car, or the body and everything will just match, just kind of flow. So I won't have any tape lines here. I'll just mask it straight down along the hood hinge slash fender, pretty much that seam right there. And then we'll just get all that sprayed. I'll probably remove the headlights to do that when I paint it, but she is ready for high build primer. Let's wipe her down one more time. I like wiping the car down a lot when I prime it, when I paint it, etc. because if there is any contamination on it, it's better to get it with a few more wipe downs than to find it when the paint is like making a circle around whatever contamination it's not going to stick to. So let's get this wiped down one more time, get her sprayed, the last stage of primer on the Durango. Finished the final coat of high build primer on the Durango, and she is looking super straight and she is ready to go. So I'm super excited that she's finally in that final stage of high build, because it has taken a lot to get here. But I just want to show you guys something. I know a lot of people on my channel know why it takes so long to do paint and body work, and why I make it take so long, because I don't want to rush the process, because there's always that issue where, you know, years down the road, months down the road, stuff comes back to bite you. As you guys have seen, a lot of other car, YouTube channels, they get a car painted in like a weekend or something, and they do all the body work in like a week too. So this is the reason I don't. So this is my high school car. I got this in 2005 in high school. And then in 2006, I paid $5,000 to have it professionally painted at a body shop, and it looked great. And then I started noticing things. Months down the road, years down the road. Now I've had this car since 2005. It is now 2022. But why I don't rush painting a car. Right here, you can see a bunch of the skims where there's a little bit of body filler, and it all shrunk back. Let's see. You can barely see it on the camera. See the reflections? There it is right there. It's all down the car. But wherever they skimmed it and then blocked it out and then primed it and then reblocked it, it came back. And the reason it does that is because the primer needs time to shrink. Once it shrinks, then you reprime it, then you can block it out again. That's why the Durango has taken this long. And obviously, if you do it too fast, it doesn't come out great. So a lot of people that get cars painted professionally from body shops, and they bust them out in like a week, or you've seen other YouTube channels where they do body work in a day and then they paint the car the next day, and then they're like, oh, this looks super great. I want to have my cars looking good for 10 plus years, 10, 20 years. I want to keep them for a long time. I'm not getting cars to just recycle them and then move on to the next thing. Whatever I rebuild, I usually keep it. So I'm going to repaint this car, but I just wanted to show you guys what is going on and why it takes so long. I know a lot of people that watch my channel, they know why I do what I do, but I usually get these weird comments that are like, this channel or that channel could do this build so much faster. I would park any of my cars next to any of those channels' cars, and I guarantee it would look better. But that being said, we now have the Durango primered, and I was just clearing out the shop because, it just smelled super primery. Oh yeah, it's good now, but it's a little bit cold outside. So she is, look at that, so good, ready to go, ready to get sprayed or get ready to get sanded in some 320 after I spray some guide coat on it. But like I said, I'm gonna bake this thing with the lamp for a few days, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be 65, so I'll pull her out tomorrow, let her bake in the sun too. And then the next day I think it's supposed to be like 64 or 63 or something in the 60s, and I'll do the same thing outside. And then that night I'll rebake it with the lamp, just so I can make sure all of that is nice and shrunk down, and I don't have to worry about that shrink back issue that I just showed you guys. But she is looking super good. I'm super excited to finally see this in the green. I know a lot of you are, and I can't wait. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. I'm gonna reiterate this though before I go. If you haven't watched my cheap donut maker video, link is in the description, or I'll put a little information tab up in the corner. Check it out, because I think the more views that you get, the better your chances are. So as always, see you guys next time.